Hey guys, we're back with another episode of the Filmaholic. We're going to be talking about the top 10 films of 2019. So we're going to start once again with our honorable mentions. The first film I have to throw out there is The Lion King, directed by Jon Favreau. A lot of people kind of had mixed feelings about this film because it's pretty much a straight remake of the original. I didn't mind that. Because that's what I wanted from this. I remember when I saw Jungle Book for the first time, the more recent, the live action Jungle Book. The first thing I thought about when I came out of the theater was I wanted to see that with The Lion King, and I got that with this. Thought it was excellent. It adds more to the characters than the original film, I think, and I just think it's a huge step in animation, CGI effects, all of that. The next film I've got to throw out there is Knives Out. An original film by Rian Johnson. We got a great cast, got some great original story here. Not what you would originally expect. I didn't expect a lot of the things that happened in that film. Really liked it. Great screenplay and some really great performances in it. Next film is Honey Boy, the film written by Shia LaBeouf, starring Shia LaBeouf as his dad. Very heartstring pulling film, very raw, emotional, and makes you feel like you're there with them during the actual scenes in the hotel and whatnot, and the arguments and stuff that takes place. Very, very good performances in that film. The next film I want to mention is Parasite. Definitely one of the best films of the year. Almost makes it into my top 10, but doesn't quite get there. Definitely was blown away by this. Awesome story, great performances, and even better directing. I think that John Buho should win Best Director this year. We'll see if it actually happens. The last film I want to mention before I get into my top 10 is El Camino, the Breaking Bad film that was on Netflix. I thought it was a really good standalone film and a great way to continue Jesse Pinkman's character and the Breaking Bad franchise.
I have no honorable mentions.
No honorable mentions.
Okay. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. Have you seen Claws on Netflix?
I have not.
You have to check this movie out. Like, like you obviously know the Legend of Santa Claus, right?
Yeah.
Then this movie creates it got really creative how they made up their own version of how the Legend of Santa Claus came to be, and also it's a pretty good. It will move you, so that's my honorable mention. And I wish it would get nominated. I think it won't because I think you have to get The only way you can get nominated is if you're in a certain amount of time in the theater, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it will pick up a nomination, but it should. Yeah.
Do you want to do your? You want to start this time?
All right. All right. Yeah. All right. Matthew decides to kick, and I will receive. All right. Let's go. Matthew will receive. I'm just kidding. All right. Number 10. Toy Story. 4. Again with the fucking friendships, man. This movie with the friendship, me crying and from me just questioning my existence in this world to the wonderful, wonderful score by Randy Newman as usual. And also the consistency this franchise has had for over 20 years. Especially we live in a time with remakes and all that, which isn't bad. But man, it's consistent with it, man. Especially for them, it will bring back the main cast or the original voices every time they make this movie. It's just something to be respected for, just for the consistency alone. And especially probably if they do make a fifth, they might probably just be great or if not better than the previous 4. Yeah. My number 9 will be Ad Astra. again, like with the Brad Pitt, like the year of Pitt, with like like Hollywood's badass, like that's everyone's daddy right there. That's your daddy right there. Like hell, I call him daddy and poppy in my dream. Well, like, oh, seriously though, man, like his performance was like, I don't get why people like said like he was like, I don't know, he was dry as like he was dry, but for me, like, yeah, he was dry, but it fit the character that it was like that was put on the script. It did the job well, and also like for me, kind of like it hit for me just for the father and son kind of relationship, and especially the cinematography, man. Cinematography, the colors. I really like. I think you're trying to pick up. I really do like the color palettes, the scenes. I love that, and also like there was like one part like the movie was just a complete. It was just a complete horror, like a horror movie. So yeah, this is my number 9. Definitely gonna check it out again. Number 8, The Farewell. From the looks of it, Aquafina's gonna win probably an Oscar from this. Just from like what we got from the Golden Globes, but it's a really good movie for it's a good movie in general. It's also a really good movie for someone that was born from another country or that was born here in the States or wherever you're from. But you have like let's say like you live with like a well in my case a Mexican culture, and but you've basically been Americanized or wherever you're from, you basically just become that, like no matter what, like you become like English American or German whatever. But then if you go back to like your where your roots are from, it's kind of hard for you to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like like for me, but yeah, and especially like it just hit close to home, man. And especially like it was funny, like it was genuinely funny. It was like there was a part when they went to visit the grandfather's grave, especially like I don't want to spoil it, but like when one of the cousins was getting married for it, and yeah, just check it out. Number 7, Midsummer. I like weird shit. That's yeah, man. That look on your face was enough. You know that scene when they're falling off the cliff, obviously, because that's like the memorable one. Man, dude, that shit fucked me up. I couldn't sleep that night. I went to work out of the following morning. I was doing my back squats, and I was like, "That's some fucked up shit." I literally had to sit down and just like smoke a cigarette. Like that's some fucked up shit. Well, man, I loved that movie. Like I loved it, but like I liked it. It was I was good enough to be in my top 10. And number 6, Booksmart. Again, these friendship movies, man. Especially like, man, it's about these two girls like work her ass like they work their asses off in a party, but then they find out like the jocks like they party their ass off, but like they're going to good schools. Like one of my favorite scenes from that movie is like when they were in the bathroom and like she was just like I'm going to Harvard, and then she's like, and this one dude is just like, well, I'm actually not going to college. But they get a job offer from Facebook and Google, so I don't know. I might take it. That was funny for me. And it's also like, it was like what's it? Super bad, but at the same time, it's still find a way for the movie to separate itself from that. So I liked it. Now, I'm not saying this to get ahead of ourselves here, right? But it was a good, and it was a great directorial debut for Olivia Wilde, which I am pumped to see what she does next.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And that is my first half. I ended my drop with a touchdown. Matt, you will receive the ball.
All right. I'm going to start off my top 10 with Ford versus Ferrari. This was a film that I've been hearing about the past couple of years, been interested in. Big fan of Christian Bale, who delivers an excellent performance in this. I'm hoping he gets an Academy Award nomination for it. Matt Damon, who I'm not a big Matt Damon fan. I think I mentioned that to you before. Usually nothing about his performances do anything for me. This is the best thing I've ever seen Matt Damon in. personally. Thought he delivered a great performance, almost better than Bale in the movie. They were both top notch. What I love so much about this movie is it's a great underdog story. It's a movie to root for, and it's an old Hollywood style film. They don't make films like this anymore, really. It's classic style, and what a lot of great films do. This touches on every level as far as like it's emotional when it needs to be emotional. It's funny when it wants to be funny. You got the race scenes. You got everything in here, and it's a really beautifully directed film. My number 9 is going to be Fighting with My Family, which it's sort of like Ford versus Ferrari. This takes a subject like racing, but in this case wrestling, with the WWE that I'm not too like interested in. I've never really been interested in wrestling, but it took that subject and made me interested in it and gave me a character who was obviously based off a real person and somebody who I wanted to follow through this journey and root for. Another underdog story. Florence Pugh, this was the first thing that I had ever seen her in, and she knocked out the park. I think that she should actually be nominated for this and Little Women. She won't be nominated for both because for some reason a lot of people I feel like didn't see Fighting with My Family, and they definitely need to go out check it out. It's one of the best films of the year. It's definitely full of heart, but it's like I said with Ford versus Ferrari, it's full of many elements: heart, drama, comedy, everything you need in there. My number 8 is going to be Jojo Rabbit. It's definitely the best adapted screenplay of the year. Taika did something really special with this. I know a lot of people were excited to see what he would do with his performance. His performance was great in the film, but you got to look at the other performances in the film too. Scarlett Johansson delivers an award-winning performance in this. Sam Rockwell crushes it. It's an incredible, fresh idea too, and you have a director in this who really understands each moment. This was a very sensitive subject to make, and Taika was able to do it perfectly. My number 7 is going to be Doctor Sleep, an adaptation of the Stephen King novel, which is a sequel to The Shining. Now, Mike Flanagan directed this film. I'm a pretty big fan of Mike Flanagan. If you haven't seen The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix, you should definitely go check that out. It's a 5-star show. And Mike Flanagan does something really special with all of his work. I saw it first in Haunting of Hill House, and now I've seen it in Doctor Sleep. But he takes horror and he makes things that are genuinely really scary, but he doesn't focus on making it a horror film. He focuses on the characters and makes it character driven, emotional, focuses on the story and the characters. And he does that with Doctor Sleep, something that The Shining does not do. I don't think I've never really been a big fan of The Shining, and the more I watch it, the more it goes down for me, ranking wise. The main things that I like about The Shining are the cinematography, and I guess the directing, but mainly the cinematography and the score, which this film has those elements, and it perfectly captures what the original was, both in the book and the movie, blends them together to give us a sequel. And it has really great performances too. First, I want to mention Ewan McGregor and the little girl in it. Both of them are really good. But the main best performance in this film is Rebecca Ferguson as Rose the Hat. She should get an Academy nomination for Best Supporting Actress. I don't think she's going to. I know she's not going to, but definitely one of the best horror performances I've ever seen. And then my number 6 is a film you also mentioned, and is Ad Astra. One of the most reserved intimate performances of the year with Brad Pitt. It's kind of like you take Apocalypse Now and Interstellar, mix the two films together, and you get Ad Astra. Plus, you have the father-son storyline that you were talking about that really is emotional. You got the great cinematography, great directing, and overall, it's a great, interesting, character-driven film.
And I like to add it had a really underrated score.
It did, yeah.
All right, I'll get the plot. Let's start this second half. All right, number 5, Ford versus Ferrari. Friendship again. obviously, but the performances, Matthew over here already said it. I don't really add anything from it. This is Italian though. Like it's Italian. It is a reference. All right. I'm gonna go kill myself after this. But man, like this movie, like uh, just real quick, props for the cinematography because like whenever it came to those driving scenes, I felt like I was in the car. Um, especially it was very it was a good period piece. I liked it like how the the maturity Kent Miles had. I think you mentioned it before when Shelby told him like hey bro you're not ready for this, but you know he still did his job. Uh, um, there's also a good story like going up against the establishment, even like putting in everything like you know like you like you're set up to succeed, but at the same time to fail, but like you still find a way to overcome all that. Really, really has my message to it, especially like well, spoiler alert, I guess the movie just you for like a quick second. One of my I think probably perhaps the favorite scene I liked a lot very much was when Kent won the race. And like honestly Ferrari was just like just looked at the car and just said in Italian like, wow, what a thing of beauty. And that's just like a that was like a like nice gesture of respect right there and I like that. And where's the number four, Jojo Rabbit? Like man, this is one of the gutsiest movies made. Is like how you said you touch a pretty sensitive subject and like made it not necessarily funny but lighthearted, but you
Yeah.
still find a way to like put the message out there. And like the performance is well done. Like I don't I don't think the kid will get a nomination out of a nomination, but if he does, he he earned it, man. Like that kid did a really good job, and like especially Scarlett Johansson, like I don't even mad if she gets like two double nominations. You know what I mean? Like for
I
like
think
for
that she
lead and
deserves it.
supporting.
Her and Florence Pugh.
Yeah, yeah, man. Like and like this movie just it made me laugh and cry, and especially like I love it. I love it how it starts and I like that like when he was just like he was just like it's the world like I think something like it's a dangerous and the mom was just like extremely. Then it ends like that, but with him not like opening the door and with the girl is like, you know, saying that. Like and getting one of the tiny details from the shoes and like the music, like when the mom talks about like you because like you're free. And at the end he does it because he you know, he's free. He's not ignorant about a subject anymore. He's finally free and especially he got rid of that ridiculous ideology, so they danced in David Bowie. Well, number three will be Avengers Endgame. Again, it's a breakthrough for cinema. Uh, Marvel has literally left a blueprint for, or at least a formula that at least anyone that aspires to have a property with a expanding universe. Well, you necessarily don't have to copy it, but they left a pretty good blueprint. Man, this is like a fine tuning cinema. Which we said it like a million times. And the performances are really well done. Robert Downey Jr. if he gets a nomination, I'll probably be mad, but I think at the end of the day I'll be like, all right, you know what? I ain't mad. I ain't mad. Chris Evans, to me, should get a nomination. That's my boy. I know women out there, especially my mom, wanted to ask to get the nomination. So I don't see that coming. Man, like this movie was just like it was a pure fan service, but it was fan service done right because just like we grew up with these characters, we got to know them, and then we just all right, we got our fan service, but with a story and a great story. Uh, Número dos, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or Brad Pitt and Friends. Like, there's like, man, like you don't need necessarily like, well, obviously you need a story for to make a movie. Well, this movie relied on dialogue. This movie did it. Like this movie right there has to be right next to like the movies done right with dialogue, like Before Sunset, that trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like uh, probably like I'm probably gonna rewatch it after this. Like I remember last time I watched it, like I appreciated it a bit more better. Like it's just one of those films. Like as you continue to watch, you're just gonna appreciate it more and more and more. You're probably gonna pick up something new as you watch. Like for your seventh watch, you might pick up this. For your eighth watch, you can pick up that. Or for your ninth watch, you're gonna probably like you're going to see what you picked up on your fifth viewing, but you're probably going to expand more out of it, whether it's like from what you see or what you think. You're going to just expand from it more. And like again, like the performance is well done, and if this man doesn't win, he's like people are going to explode like Philly fans. But and then number one, numero uno, like the coveted number one spot, like Marriage Story. And this movie made me not want to get married for a couple of years. But all
Should do a
seriousness though,
double
like
feature of Marriage Story and Blue Valentine.
I probably won't be able to do this for a couple of weeks. You want to catch me with a little facial hair, my facial pascal facial hair. Like performances, well done screenplay, uh, the score. I fucking love the score. I think my favorite one is like the mommy face. Uh, Man, the way that movie begins, like if you just come in there like without watching the trailers, like I watched the trailer before I watched the movie, but and the trailers they start like what I like about Charlie or what I like about Nicole,
Yeah.
but I didn't expect it for the movie to start off like that, and it, like like the way Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson were just uh like delivering the lines, it brought warmth into my heart, especially with like having the score behind it. It was just like wow, like it just for 6 minutes I was like my heart was all warm, and after that it was just it cut to like the counselor just going like, all right, read your paper, and he just got done reading it, and she's like, oh, paper, oh, but man, like this movie phenomenal, and I hope it gets. I don't know if Netflix will do it, but I hope it gets a home video release, at least a digital release.
That would be nice. Definitely. I think I
And
would get it.
I will for sure get a. I'm gonna try to get a poster for that movie. It's oh man, it's a beautiful movie. Whether you're married, soon to be divorced, or whatever, it you should watch it because like it ends like La La Land. It still has like a optimistic ending. Like the ending is just open, but open with a for a bright future. Like no matter what path um, it may go, it's gonna end well.
Yeah.
And you might want to go to Costco and get vocal tissues if you plan to see this movie, especially if you want to do like a blow Valentine Marriage Story. Oh my God,
And you
Phoenix
got one at the beginning, one at the
profit.
end of the decade. Just do a double feature.
Yeah, it's like man, like come on, Phoenix will make the profits, man. But yeah, that's it for me. That's my top 10.
All right.
I might probably like make a video, send it to you with the updated list. But I don't know. For now, like we're probably I'm content with it. I love it.
Okay. Um, Going back to my number 5, that's going to be Toy Story 4. Um, I truly just love this film, almost more than the first film. The first film has the nostalgia factor that I grew up with it, so that'll always be my number 1 animated film. But Toy Story 4, I recently got it on Blu-ray. Can't wait to revisit it. Um, just the story in this one about finding one's purpose, and then obviously what happens later in the film at the end just really hit me because of where I am in my life. Um, you know, moving on, uh, making choices, and going in different directions than other people in your life. Um, I thought it just really hit me, just like Toy Story 3 hit me when it did. Um, I grew up watching these films, and I think they're made for those people. Um, and like you said, this has been one of the most consistent franchises ever made. Like every film is almost a 5-star. Like it's fantastic.
It's like a
Um,
fine bottle of wine.
I can't also forget to mention that the animation in this movie. The animation in this movie is stellar. Like there's the opening scene of the film where it's a flashback and it's like the little toy car stuck in the water that looks legitimately like real. Like it's awesome. Um, I can't imagine if they wait like another 10 years to make Toy Story 5, how that's going to look. Am I going to be like watching real toys at that point? Like it's going to be crazy.
Now, are you gonna
Um,
watch it with your kids?
um, my number 4 is the peanut butter falcon, which I know I've mentioned to you and recommended you watch it. It's a film I didn't know much about going in. Um, I knew that the filmmakers were from North Carolina, and Shia was in it, so I gave it a chance, and it was a really great, heartfelt story. Um, just as but going back to the fight with my family, it's another underdog story. It's a small story, but it's great. It's a fantastic screenplay. Um, Also found out recently that I'm not sure if maybe me and you talked about this. The main character in it is his name is Zach. Um, the filmmakers wanted him to play in the film and to act in the film, and the studios didn't really want him. They wanted a different actor to play it, and they had to fight for him. And I'm glad they did because he was exceptional in the film. Is great. And he's the lead of the film, by the way. I know I think it's the Academy. It's a lot of awards I was looking at was like pushing that Shia was actually the lead of the film, and he's not. Nothing against Shia, he is fantastic in this film, but Shia is a supporting actor in this film. He is not the lead. Now we're going to number 3, which is your number 1, and that is Marriage Story. This was a raw, like gut punch of a film. Gave us the best performances of the year as far as leading actors go, with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. Both should not only be nominated but should win for their respective categories. It's a film. If you want to watch a film that to study not only acting but screenwriting too, watch Marriage Story. Like some of these scenes in there with those two elements combined are just phenomenal. I know we've talked about the fight scene, the argument scene, whatever you want to call it, just gut wrenching, and it's all so real, and all the moments are so real, and you can just feel it. You can feel the whole film. Um, I definitely Noah Baumbach's best movie as well. My number 2 is Avengers Endgame. I've talked about it before. It's an epic conclusion to this the Infinity Saga and the Marvel movies that we've gotten so far. It gave us fan service, but it was deserved fan service, and it was a proper send off for some of the selected characters, while also setting up new interesting storylines for the future as well as characters. And obviously, you guys know this by now, I think. My number one is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't really know much more I can say about that film. I can't wait to watch it on the big screen again. Hopefully going to watch it when I'm in Hollywood at the end of the month for my birthday. They're still showing it at the New Beverly, which is Quentin Tarantino's theater, and they're showing it in 35 millimeter. So hopefully checking that out. It'll be the first time I actually ever see a Tarantino film on film, so that's really exciting. But who knows? Maybe I'll run into Brad Pitt.
Okay, you're asking for way too much now.
I wish there'd be an actual screening there. I was very upset. I missed the screening they had recently at ArcLight. But you got any more thoughts about the films
one
this
thing
year?
One thing I like to add to your thing about like premiere story, like for aspiring actors or screenplay. Well, for both is like you necessarily don't need everything to be improv.
Yeah.
You know, like if as long as you can like remember your lines and remember your lines and like do your job, whether you're planned it ahead or you're just like you just got to that point you're actually being that character, but still following the script. You can make a pretty good hell of a movie, and you don't necessarily don't have to look for those moments because the script already has it planned out. And, yeah.
You got any more thoughts?
Does that take care of a movie? Oh man. 2019 started a bit slow, but it ended really well.
I'm interested to see the end of this year, what our top 10 list is, because we're going to do it. I'm not sure when, but we're going to do a top 10 most anticipated films of 2020 coming up. And I've been looking over, like, getting that list prepared. And this year's kind of rough so far. Like, looking ahead at the films coming out, it's not. I'm grateful we had such a great year in 2019 for film.
Man, I'm excited for that new Muse trailer. I'm gonna sneak a bottle of tequila in there.
I don't know, but
you know you can count on me reviewing that.
We'll see. Hopefully, it's a pleasant surprise, and hopefully, the films that are announced right now aren't the only films that we get in 2020. I'm hoping that a lot more come out in the fall for Oscar season that blow us away.
Was it that Brad Pitt movie? Emma Stone?
I don't think that's coming out this year, but one can hope. I think it's 2021. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. That's our episode.